looks like we have a few attendees in. So hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. My name is Daniel Senyard. I am the CEO and co-founder of Shep. So we have these weekly webinars, every 2 weeks. So we call them micro webinars because we try to make them very short. I know we've all been spending just too much time on Zoom, on webinars and calls and such. So we really try to make these very short, low commitment demos and calls. So basically, it's almost every Thursday we have one. You can register at the same link as you registered this time. And in that spot as well, you can also see prior recordings. We record each of these. That way you can watch them again, create a highlight reel, share them with your team, whatever you like, to sort of do. And we've actually found quite a lot of people going back and once they've seen one, going and seeing the other topics and such. So that's always available as a resource. We typically do these to do demos of Shep, previews of new features, some how-tos, best practices, and general Q&A. And so sometimes they are very specifically just Shep stuff. Sometimes they're more broader concepts that we sort of tie in to show how we can sort of help, whether it's sustainability, which we did the last one was on sustainability, duty of care, etc. So this week we're doing one specifically about a brand new integration we've got in place. This is with a company called Riskline. And so Riskline is a data source for duty of care that's used by a lot of different companies, including I think like FCM uses them, Amex GBT uses them. So they're very well trusted as far as the fidelity and relevancy and up-to-dateness of their data. So we'll show you what that is. So the sort of problem we're looking at is that travel's back, but mostly domestic travel. And this is from a recent survey that was done a couple months ago, maybe last month, I think. But 77% of business travelers are now willing to travel again. And in fact, I found this number was pretty impressive, which 40% of companies have already resumed non-essential business travel. So not planning to, but have actually already started traveling domestically for non-essential travel, which is a good sign. And 12% of companies have already started their non-essential business travel, international travel. So, very, very domestic focused travel, as I'm sure we've all seen in programs and such, and from around the industry. And so the challenge is that staying up to date with all of this can be pretty tricky. You've got layers upon layers of information, starting like at the World Health Organization. So you've got your sort of global organizations, then you've got your international ones, so the CDC in the States. Then going down to a state or province level, depending on where you are. And then even sometimes all the way down to a city level where guidance can change based on where you're coming from, where you're going to, all that sort of thing. And so the thing is that most data sources are pretty good at international, so crossing international borders, but trying to get down to that state level can be a little bit tricky. And so that's where Riskline comes in and why we've partnered with them. So I'm going to switch to my other screen. So for those who are not familiar, Shep is a browser extension technology. So what that means is we live up here in your web browser and we're able to see the site you're on, so the URL. And then in some cases, we're able to see the field. So we can see what entries employees are typing in. And so I'll show you at a high level. If someone was to go to Orbitz or an OTA, you can just kind of have general messages around like, should you be here? Your company's tool or policy requires you to book through Concur. So Shep can be used just in general to redirect people and educate them about the benefits of booking in channel. So you'll see that button then actually opens up Concur. There's an example of some unused credits that a company has. Make sure you book on one of these airlines. But for today's purposes, what we do is we read these fields. So let's say I was going to New York. Or no, sorry, I'm going from New York to Chicago. So what we do is we're able to read those fields, reach out to Riskline, And then this is kind of the magic, is we're bringing in specific state level guidance around Illinois, around the state that your employees are traveling to. So they then don't have to go and dig through all the different data sources to find it. They're able to see, what are the entry and border requirements? What's the general policy? They can read more if they like. See, Illinois is currently in a phase 5. They can see what do you need testing, travel documentation, is there a recommended tracing app? And then you can also, if they are traveling globally, you can then also see at a US level what that all looks like. And so you've got the same kind of things at an international. And so, yeah, that's kind of the Citata, the Riskline integration, which is very much like our Citata one, which some of you may have seen, except now it's going from global international borders down to a state level guidance, which is a lot more important right now with so much travel being domestic. So the state level guidance that Riskline provides, your employers anywhere can access this, but it gets down to that state level guidance in North America. So US, Canada, Australia, Spain, and France are currently the countries that they support. Anywhere else, if you were to search for a trip to China, would give you the Chinese level guidance, not down to that sort of more granular level. And so, basically that is what Shep is the ability for you to bring your policy, whether it's duty of care, sustainability, health and safety, approval flows, whatever it is, we allow you to bring that policy to life across the web. So all of this works on 2,000 different travel sites, including 5 different OBTs. So you can provide consistent communication, whether it's on Expedia, Circo, Get There, Concur, etc. We do currently have a discount we're running where if we can get the contract going, I know that no one is going to close a deal by the end of Q2. Just if we start now, but if we can get the sort of pilot or an agreement started before the end of Q2, we have a sort of return to travel discount, because we know that travel is still somewhat suppressed, and that allows you to actually lock in that discounted pricing for up to 2 years as well. And you can just kind of schedule a demo with me. If you just go to sheptravel.com, there's a demo link right there. You also see on our website, we have a couple of ebooks. The 5 steps to return to travel is sort of a broader, best practices. Here are some things you need to think about as far as like updating your policy, reviewing your approval flows, looking at your duty of care providers and data sources. And then implemented guided buying is the second one, sort of a follow-up book that now gets more into how to bring those to life using Shep, how to sort of implement that guided buying process across all these sites. And that leaves about 5 minutes for Q&A. You can type them in the chat box or unmute yourself, up to you. Yeah, so it's we're available in I don't know how many countries, lots and lots of countries. We've only found a couple that it's not available in, and that's typically because we're available anywhere that Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge has an extension store. And so that is most major countries. I think it was maybe South Korea, and there was one other country I can't think of that that's not available in. But when we've worked with companies looking through everywhere their employees are, it's been about a 90% coverage. And that's really not something we can control. It's just, can you get extensions in these countries? And the thing is, we can also support multi-languages. So when you create a notification for an employee, you can target that notification to a specific region. So your employee is in France. Let's say they use Citric instead of Concur. You can have a French message that shows up only to your employees in France, and the call to action button on OTAs could say, you're not allowed to book here, return to Citric, and click there and take them there. So it allows you to sort of like make your communication consistent around the globe across OBTs and multiple languages, and even different characters, Hindi, Japanese, can account for all of those as well. We don't do the translations, but you can sort of paste those characters or type them into the notifications as you create them. Let's see if there's any more questions. Looks like that's it. All right, everyone. Thank you for your time. I hope you have a good weekend coming up, And yeah, feel free to reach out. There's my email address, or if you could just come to the website, sheptravel.com, you can chat there. And again, you can go and watch other prior webinars. The last one we did was on sustainability, and went through our partnership with Thrust Carbon a little bit, and showed how we can help you push sustainability initiatives forward and proactively reduce, or sort of educate employers on best practices for sustainability, and then multiple other topics. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, everyone.